Now suppose I want to rotate my chair. So first let us delete all these animations, or I must say the keyframes. I'll just select all of them and press delete. I will go to the 0th frame. Now if I want to rotate this chair, right? So over here we have this chair seat. If I select my rotation tool, or I can just press E. So this is how I am able to rotate my chair. So to rotate this, we have to go to the rotation panel over here. So now we will be adding keyframes inside the rotation. So now we can set the current rotation, all the roll pitch here, and let us get to the end of this keyframe. And I just want to rotate in this axis, and this axis on the right hand side you can see is the Z axis, and the Z axis is called as yaw. I can just hover over here. It will tell me Z axis is yaw. So I will go over here and to 240 frames, and I can just, if I'm not able to get inside that frame, I can just type over here like 240, and it will set the correct position of my frame. I can zoom out like this, and now let us set the yaw rotation. So currently it is 0. I will set it like 360, and I can just press 360. It will automatically create a node for you if you press enter. So now it has created the keyframe, and let us play the animation now. You can see it is rotating on its own now. You can actually just enter the value and press enter. It will automatically create a keyframe for you, and it has been looped. So it is just moving in the loop. You may notice that if select this keyframe and I decrease the time for it, if I decrease the time, the animation will get speed up. So now it is rotating in much more speed than before. So that's how the timeline works. So if I put it in the end, so it will take these many frames, like 240 frames, to complete this whole rotation, right? Or it is same for the transformation, or if you set the position, if the X position is suppose at the 0th position is 0, and the X position at the end of the frame is 100. So it will take 240 frames for this chair to reach 0 to 100 position. You can make it faster by just decreasing the amount inside this sequencer over here. So suppose I want to complete my rotation in just 60 frames. So now if I just play, I can just press space bar to play my current animation. So now inside, in just 60 frames, it will complete the animation. So it is much faster. If I want it slower, I can just pull it till the last frame. So let us create a new animation. I can shift, suppose till 90 frame, it is rotating in the clockwise direction, and suppose in 180, it will rotate anti-clockwise direction. So I can just select this 360 and minus 360. So from here to here, then it will go back to its original, which is 0. I can just set 0 and press enter. It will automatically add the current frame, and let us press play. So now it is going anti-clockwise, and then it will go clockwise again, and it is looped. So we can actually add the transformation and the rotation both at the same time. So let us pause our animation and we'll go back to the first frame. So Now let us record the current location for this chair. I'll just press this keyframe. It will set the keyframe for all X, Y, Z. So now I will just press W, or I can just click this button over here to get our location icon, and I can actually mix the rotation animation and the location animation. So right now the X is this much, and I can set, suppose at 120 frames. I want this to move over here. I will record my current location. And now at the end, I can just copy the start animation for the location itself. And at the ending frame, I can just paste it. And now if I play my animation, you will see that it is rotating and moving both at same time. And now we can actually make it scale down and scale up at the same time as well. So let us look at that property as well. First, we'll delete all these keyframes so that we can understand the scaling animation. So at 0th frame or the start of the animation, let us set the current scale of this animation, and by pressing this plus icon, we can record the current scale. And suppose at 150 frames, the chair is getting a little bit bigger. So suppose like 1.5, I'll press enter, it will add the keyframe by itself. 1.5 on the Y, you can see over here on the Y, and I want it uniform, so I will set the same scale for X, Y, and Z, and 1.5 for the Z. And at the end, we can set the current or the original scale. So I can just copy this. I want it to the 240 frames, and I can just paste it over here. And now if we play the animation, you will see the scale of this chair is increasing, and now it will decrease. Again, we can add the rotation and transformation at the same time. So I can add the rotation. I will have to record and add the keyframe. So this is the current rotation. I want here to rotate it, like I can set the yaw, suppose 90 degrees. Press enter, it will add the keyframe on its own. Then over here, it will rotate 180 degrees. Then at the end, it will go back to suppose 0. If I'm not able to set the current keyframe, I can just zoom in and set it easily, or I can just type it over here to go to the current or to the any keyframe that I want. I will set this to 0, or I can set it to 360. Next, we can also add the location at the same time. Let us go at the start, and we'll record the current location. Then suppose at 180, I want it to move upwards a little bit. I will make this upward and we'll record it. Then at the end, I can just move it a little bit right if I want. And I can record. Then at the end of it, I will just copy my current location and I will paste it over here. And now let us play the animation. It is rotating. It is also moving upwards. Something like this. Now it is much faster at the end because the frames between them is very less. That's why it is get That's why the animation is getting much faster. Something like this. I can save all these animation by just Control Shift S to save my level sequencer, which is present inside this content drawer, in which the animation is there and the level itself we can save. Now, what if I just want to rotate this chair just from the seat, not the wheels and this lower part? So for that, we have to deattach some of the component from the parent. But firstly, let us delete this component from the level sequencer. We just press delete. And now we will deattach the wheels. So I'll just drag it and hover to the parent. It will get outside of this parent. And also the bottom part, we just drag it and hover over the parent, and I will release my left mouse button. And now you will see that inside this parent, we just have this upper part, the seat and the upper part. And that is what was needed. Now we will just drag and drop it over here. And let us make the animation for just the rotation. So from the 0th frame, let us record the current rotation. And at the end of the frame, let us set the yaw, which is this rotation, suppose 360. Press enter, it will automatically record and add a keyframe. And now let us play the animation. And you can actually navigate inside this whole level while the animation is playing. So you can see that our chair, or just the upper part of this chair, is rotating. You will notice that it is just jumping from this value to this value, because at the start, the current value of the yaw is 30. So we can also change that. So at the start, we can change the yaw position to 0. Press enter, it will automatically record. And the ending position is now 360. So now if I just press play, it will be a complete loop. Amazing.